Hello everyone, this is chapter 6, part 6. In this part, we'll be talking about, grab my pen, we'll be talking about the determinants of elasticity. So we learned about different types of elasticity, and now we're moving to what makes the demand for a good or service elastic versus inelastic. So we'll talk about all 5 determinants. Let's get started. The first determinant of elasticity is, and also the most important determinant of elasticity of demand, is availability of close substitutes. If a product has many substitutes, that means, you can go out and easily give up on this product. So if a good or service has many close substitutes, it tends to have elastic demand, which means you increase the price, I'm gonna drop the quantity demanded a lot. Why? Because it has a lot of substitutes. I don't need to consume it. So this availability of close substitutes is basically, it tells you how consumers react to a change in price of a product, and it depends on the alternatives they have. Demand is more elastic if there are many substitutes. It's inelastic if there are few substitutes. Banana, how would you classify banana? Does it have a lot of substitutes? Yes, a lot of many substitutes. So it's gonna have elastic demand, which means if you increase the price of bananas, quantity demanded, I'll just eat apples. I'm not gonna die if I don't eat bananas. Oil, or when I say oil, obviously refined oil, gasoline. I want you to think about your gasoline price elasticity of demand. You know what? Price of gas is right now around 3 something, let's say $3.50. Even if it's $10 or $1, you know what? I drive the same mileage, number of miles. Okay, so it's pretty it doesn't have many substitutes. I could be riding my bike, yes, but I don't want to get sweaty when I go to work. And distances are extremely long in Texas. Texas is a huge state, so I need to drive my car. Gasoline doesn't have many close substitutes. It has inelastic demand. That means if price goes up, quantity demanded goes down. Yes, I'll try to cut down. I'll run my errands together, but still quantity demand doesn't go down by a lot. It just goes down a little bit. Cell phone service. When I say cell phone service, I'm talking about cell phone versus what? I'm not talking about providers like AT&T obviously has substitutes, but cell phone versus landlines, email, it has substitutes, but they are not close substitutes, okay? So it's relatively inelastic. Okay? The second determinant of demand, when I was trying to write that, it popped up, is the time dimension, okay? As time passes, people can adjust their habits, and they can find substitutes. It's so weird. I keep writing and the color of these writings change too. So this is actually what happened to me a couple of years ago. I love peanuts. I had serious peanut addiction. So price of peanuts went up, and I was eating like pounds and pounds of raw peanuts. And quantity demanded, I saw the prices, and I was a student then, so I'm on a budget. Price of peanuts went up like crazy, so I dropped the quantity demanded at first a little bit. Initially, I had an elastic demand. So here's the idea. As time passes, before time passes, you have inelastic demand, but in the long run, what I did, I kind of changed my peanut eating ways. Kind of funny way to say it, but you know what, I was able to change my peanut eating habit. I was eating less frequently. I switched to something relatively cheaper, so quantity demanded of peanuts went down a lot as time passed. So initially, demand is inelastic when the price goes up, and eventually it becomes more elastic. The more time that passes after the price increase, the more elastic the demand of a product becomes. Okay, just keep that in mind. Necessities versus luxuries is the third determinant of demand. You need to figure out if a good is a necessity, something that you have to have, versus it's a luxury, something you don't really have to have. Okay, so demand curve for a luxury good is more elastic. It's flatter than a demand curve for necessities. So I want you to now think about it. Is milk versus ticket to SeaWorld, which one is a necessity for you? You can stop the video, take your time, think about it. Let me give you the answer. Well, milk is something I have to have. I'm sorry. Necessity for me. Necessity. Okay, ticket to SeaWorld is more like a luxury. I'm not gonna die if I don't see Shamu or Tilikum, right? So, but if I don't drink milk, I know I may get osteoporosis when I'm older. So if a product is necessity, it has relatively more inelastic demand. Luxury products have elastic demand, which means if you increase the price of milk, quantity demanded goes down just a little bit. So I'm going to put 2 arrows here. Price goes up, quantity demanded goes down with just a little bit. For SeaWorld tickets, price goes up. Let's say people they're going to give up a lot on SeaWorld tickets. So I put 3 arrows. The response will be huge. So I'm putting greater than, showing you the strength of the magnitude. So here, response and quantity demanded to a price increase is huge. Okay, why? Because you know what? I'm not gonna die. That's why they don't usually change the ticket prices to SeaWorld. Okay, it doesn't change like every day. Okay, so milk demand is inelastic relatively because it's a necessity. Ticket to SeaWorld is relatively elastic, just like all luxury goods, because it is a luxury. Definition of the market is another determinant of elasticity. Definition of the market is very important. What do I mean? Elasticity depends on how you define market. The more narrowly we define a market, the more elastic the demand curve will be, because /C means because there are more substitutes available. Okay, now food demand versus potato demand. Which one is more narrow? Okay, look at this. This is food demand. We're talking about all groups of, this is broad, okay? Food demand is very inelastic. Actually, it's almost perfectly inelastic. What does it mean? Increased price, quantity demanded will not change at all. I'm gonna put bar for no change, right? Because if you increase food prices, I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep eating food because I don't want to die. Potato is a very narrow food group, okay? First of all, I haven't had potato maybe in like 15 days and I'm still alive. I don't care. If you increase the price of potato, people will actually respond to this by dropping their consumption. If a pound of potato was $10 per pound, forget it, I'm not eating potatoes personally. So it has elastic demand. The response is going to be bigger. So an elastic demand, food demand, potato relatively more elastic demand. This is a very fun example. MIT economist Jerry Hausman actually estimated price elasticity of demand for breakfast cereal. Okay, so he looked at them and this is what he found. He looked at post-raisin bran. This is very narrow. All family breakfast cereal. This is medium, somewhat between. All types of breakfast cereal. This is a very broad group. Okay, so this is what he found. Price elasticity of demand for post-raisin bran, -2.5. Look, in absolute value, this is greater than 1. This is elastic, pretty elastic actually. What does this number mean? This is what it means. If you increase the price by 1% for post-raisin bran, sales will go down by 2.5%. So if you're the producer of post-raisin bran, you're not gonna increase the price. Look at this. Look at the response. It's huge. Your total revenue will go down. Why? Total revenue is price times quantity demanded. You are increasing price by 1 percentage points times it's going down, quantity demanded going down by 2.5 percentage points. Total revenue will go down. Imagine these as opposite forces. Something is pushing your total revenue by 1 percentage points. Some other force is pushing it down even stronger by 2.5 percentage points. You'll lose money. Price elasticity of demand for all family breakfast cereal is negative. He calculated to be negative 1.8. Still an absolute value greater than 1, therefore elastic, but it's not as elastic as post-raisin bread. Look at that. So it's a little bit broader category than post-raisin bread, and it's still elastic but relatively less elastic than post-raisin bread. Why? Post-raisin bread has many substitutes. Okay, so what does this negative 1.8 elasticity mean? It means if you increase prices by 1 percentage point, sales will go down by 1.8 percentage points. Again, total revenue would go down. So don't do it. Okay, so he calculated the price elasticity of demand for all types of breakfast cereal is negative 0.9. This is an absolute value less than 1. This is obviously inelastic. It has inelastic demand. Just like we said, if you define the market broadly, you're gonna have inelastic demand, narrowly elastic demand. All types of breakfast cereal has few substitutes. Why? What else can you eat during breakfast? Well, instead of all types of breakfast cereal, I can eat bacon and hash browns. I don't know. I can eat French toast. I can make a sandwich. You know, it doesn't have many substitutes, but post-raisin bread, oh my gosh, has many more substitutes. So if price increases, what does this mean? Negative 0.9. Price increase by 1 percentage point, sales will go down by 0.9 percentage point. In this case, if you increase prices, actually total revenue would go up. Okay, so moving on, these are some estimated real world price elasticities of demand. Look at this. Barnes and Noble books, it's greater than 1, it's elastic. Books at Amazon, inelastic, less than 1. Why? It doesn't have many substitutes. Amazon is the cheapest book supply. Yes, it has, half price books of eBay, but not many. So this is less than 1, inelastic. DVDs, Amazon, it's elastic. Why? I mean, I can find many more substitutes to DVDs. I can actually go to movies, buy them somewhere else at Walmart, or stream it, watch it. I don't need to buy it. It's like luxury. Post-raisin bread, elastic. Why? Greater than 1 absolute. Cars have, look at that, elastic demand. It has greater than 1 absolute. Coca-Cola, again, elastic. Many substitutes. Grapes, elastic. Almost unitary elastic though. Okay, so these are supposed to be greater than 1. I'm so sorry. Restaurant meals, look at that. Less than 1, inelastic. That means price of restaurant meals go up, quantity demanded goes down, but not as much as the initial increase. So I guess restaurant meals are somewhat necessity at some point. Bread, okay, bread is pretty inelastic if you look at it. Water, residential use, very inelastic. Chicken, inelastic demand, less than 1 in absolute value. Okay, this is the examples from book. I would never give this example, but I have to copy paste table. Drugs, I mean, we're all adults, I guess. Drugs are highly addictive. They're horrible. Cocaine is a kind of drug. It's highly addictive. It has very inelastic demand. Okay, once you're hooked up to these kind of things, you have to have it, I guess. Cigarettes, again, highly addictive things are have inelastic. Beer, again, alcohol, addictive. Residential natural gas, look at this, super inelastic. That means even if the price goes up by, let's say, 1 percentage points, your consumption goes down by only 0.09 percentage points. That's little. Gasoline, look at the inelasticity level of it. Super inelastic. This means even if the price of gas goes up by 100%, that means doubles. You can drop your quantity demanded by only 6%. Can you look at this? Look at this. Price doubles, we drop our consumption by only 6 percentage points. That's insane. Milk, very inelastic. Again, just like gasoline, less than 1. Sugar, again, super inelastic. Again, necessities, it's all about substitutes, availability of substitutes, necessities. Okay? Alright, let's continue with the more determinants of demand. The last term of demand, actually next to last, is importance of being unimportant. Okay? So this is like a Justin Bieber song. Bieber, okay? He says, never say never. Okay, it sounded like that. Importance of being unimportant, kind of confusing. So basically what I mean when I say importance of being unimportant, share of the good in a consumer's budget. So if an item doesn't constitute a major part of your budget, therefore it has inelastic demand. That means tiny things, tiny stuff, we don't sweat it out. Let me give you an example. Let's say price of chewing gums go up from $1 to $1.50, right? So we're doing midpoint formula, percent change in price. So it's a 40% actually change in price here. 40% increase in price. You know what? Let me ask you, 40% increase in price of chewing gums, will your gum demand drop by 40%? My quantity demand will not drop by 40%. Why? I don't care. It's such a tiny thing. Same with toilet papers. If price of toilet papers go up by 40%, I'm sorry, I'm not going to drop my consumption by 40%. I don't care. It's such a cheap thing. I mean, toilet papers are not necessarily cheap. You buy it bulk, let's say, but still you use it for a long time. So it doesn't matter, at least personally at my level. So small items have inelastic demand. Small. When I say small items that don't constitute huge part of your budget, inelastic. Big ticket items, big ticket items, larger items, car, furniture have elastic demand. So price of cars go up, you're like, oh, let me wait to change my car, right? Big ticket items, price goes down, quantity demanded, or vice versa. Okay, for elasticity, the opposite scenario is valid too. Price goes down, quantity demanded goes up a lot. That's why car sellers usually put their cars, for instance, let's say we're in 2018, right, in November. So they start even putting 2019 models on sale as of November. It's insane. Why? Because they know if they drop the price, quantity demand will go up a lot. They can liquidate their inventory. Okay, so here's the moral of the story. Larger the share of the item in your budget, larger share of an item in your budget, the more elastic the demand is. Okay, this concludes our part 6.